Hello, hello! It's late summer and that means peach season. Peaches are sweet and sour and full of fiber. Full of fiber means they're not going to spike your blood sugar. Sweet means nourishing. Sour means hydrating. Did I mention you can smell them a mile away? I love having peaches in my kitchen and smelling their beautiful aroma. It inspires me to bake my first dessert of the season. Yes, the temperatures are getting a little lower and it's time to turn on the oven and make a beautiful peach galette. Let me show you exactly how to make it. So we are going to start by making the crust in the food processor here. So we're going to start with 1 1/3 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and then we're gonna need butter. So that's cold butter. So we've got 8 tablespoons of cold butter. That's 1/4 pound if you buy it in a pound. So you wanna cut it into relatively small pieces. So before adding the prepared butter, we're gonna blend up the flour and the salt. I'm spreading it out over the top here. And then once the butter's in there, we want to pulse until the butter is pea-shaped. So I'm gonna give it about 5-6 pulses and then check. Okay, now I'm gonna check. What I can see already is some giant butter pieces, and so we need more pulsing. Okay, that's better. This one here is probably perfect. This one is pretty good. So there's a couple pieces that are a little large, so I'm gonna put this back in and just do one more little pulse. I have added ice cubes to my water because we don't want this butter getting warm and blending. We want to keep those pea-sized shapes intact. So I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of the water around evenly. And I'm going to start with 6 and then see how it goes. You do not want to do more than 6. Do not overdo the water. The dough starting to take shape in there. So when I squeeze it together, there's no flour left. There's some stickiness from the water, but you see how it's come together. But I want to show you what it looks like here. That does not exactly look like dough, but that's perfectly fine because what you don't see is pieces of flour. So if you look in there, all the flour has been incorporated with water. You do not want to overdo the water. Just look for the flour incorporated with water, but it's not going to be a solid piece of dough yet. Okay, I have laid out a piece of plastic wrap and we're going to dump the dough onto the wrap. You can use your hands to bring it together, or you can use the wrap to bring it together. There's no rolling or kneading of this pastry. All we need to do is bring it together. You see that? Just bring it together into a nice disc. You see there? So this is going in the fridge. It's time to roll out our galette crust. So we're gonna get some parchment paper. Place that, so take off the plastic. So you might want to let that rest just 1 minute before you start rolling. And we're going to need to flour our surface really well. Now we'll start with the rolling. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. In fact, we might want it to be a little rectangular. And as soon as you see it start to stick, it's time to add more flour. So that's pretty good. And we're going to transfer that onto a baking tray. You can see that the edges are lifted up a little bit, and that's okay. And this baking tray is going to go in the fridge while we prepare the peaches. So up next is peaches. Cut those in half, twist it off, take off that little nib, another half, and we're going to do thin slices. As fast as you can comfortably work. We wanted to have 3 cups, and this is a 4-cup measure. So let's see how we did. That was 4 peaches, and we've got a little less than 4 cups here, but I think that's gonna be perfect. Peaches into a nice bowl, and then we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. So a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon, And then we want half a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. And then we're gonna stir this up. Don't forget the arrowroot or all-purpose flour. Honestly, this mixing is my favorite part because look at that. It is smelling like cinnamon and sugar and peaches, and I think we should taste one. Oh my goodness. The additional sugar on the already sweet peach is over the top. I'm so excited to put this inside the pastry crust and then cook it and make this beautiful dessert. So let's get the crust out and assemble our galette. So you want to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. All right, so what we're gonna do is dump our peaches into the center. Now the next thing we're gonna do is just turn the crust over. And in terms of this edge here, you want to try to close any spots that could leak juice around the edges. If you want to remove the extra, that's totally fine. To me, this is already beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do is do our egg wash. So we're going to wash around the edges, the crust nice and shiny. A nice raw coarse sugar like this. Look, that's not even baked yet and it looks amazing. So let's get this in the oven. Are you ready for this? Check out how golden brown that is on the bottom. Lovely. The sweet and sour quality from the peach is coming through. Yeah. Every bite is just loaded with flavor. Enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next video.